It's time for division, and we're going to go ahead and divide a whole number by a fraction. We're going to divide a fraction by a whole number, and we're also going to divide a fraction by a fraction. So let's go through some of those examples, and we'll do a few for each. The first type of problem is when we take a whole number and we're going to divide it by a fraction. Okay, so for number 1, let's say we have 2 and we want to divide that by 1/4 or into 1/4 pieces. Okay, before we can do the division, basically we want to convert this whole number into an improper fraction. So that's going to be 2 over 1, and then we've got divided by 1/4. Now there's a special rule with division that we're going to take that second fraction and we're going to flip it, or take the reciprocal. So reciprocal, which basically means flip. So I'm going to go ahead and rewrite this to show you what I mean. I'm going to take 2 over 1, and the reciprocal of 1/4 would be 4 over 1. Now the other thing we're going to do is, because we're flipping, we're also going to change the sign. So instead of division, it's now going to be a multiplication problem. We're going to do a couple of these, so if you're not quite catching on to what's going on, that's okay. Once we've created a multiplication problem, we go ahead and reduce and multiply, just like we've been doing. We can't reduce, so 2 times 4 is 8, 1 times 1 is 1, and we can convert that to a whole number. Okay, and so that would be our answer. If we take 2 and we divide it into 1/4 pieces, we're going to basically have 8 1/4 pieces. Okay, let's do another one where we start with a whole number. Let's say we have 3 and we want to divide it by 1/2. Again, let's change that 3 into a fraction. I'm going to rewrite it. Just like in the first problem, we want to flip this second fraction. So instead of 1/2, it's going to be 2 over 1. I'm going to rewrite this 3 over 1, and also like the first, we're going to change that division to multiplication. Now we're going to reduce, but it doesn't look like we can, so we just multiply straight across. And then because this is an improper, I'm converting it back to, if this were a number other than 1, I would make this would then become a mixed number. But because this is a 1, then our answer is going to be a 6. Let's do one more like this, where we have a whole number and then we're going to divide by a fraction. Let's say we have 5 and we're going to divide by 3/4. So again, we want to take this 5 and put it over 1, divided by 3/4. Remember, the second fraction is going to be flipped, and then we're going to change the operation from division to multiplication. So here we have 5 over 1 times 4/3. Can't reduce, so we're multiplying straight across. 20/3. Now notice this is an improper fraction, but it's not going to reduce to a whole number like the other two. Instead, we have to divide. 3 goes into 20 6 whole times, That's 18. So if we subtract from 20, we get 2 left. So 6 2/3. So if we were to take 5 and divide it into groups of 3/4, we would have 6 2/3 of those groups. Okay, now the next set of problems is when we have the fraction first, and we're going to divide that by a whole number. Okay, now our first example is going to be 1/4 divided by 2. So I'm going to go ahead and rewrite it, and instead I'm going to put a 1 underneath this 2 to make this a fraction. So here we have 1/4 divided by 2/1. Okay? Now, just as before, we want to take that second fraction and flip it, or take the reciprocal. That's going to make this fraction look like this. So instead of 2/1, we now have 1/2. We also want to change the sign and bring down that first fraction. So 1/4 times 1/2. We can't reduce, so we just multiply straight across. And notice we don't need to convert this. This is a proper fraction. So if we take 1/4 and we divide it into 2 pieces, we're going to have 1/8, or 2 1/8. Okay, let's go ahead and do a couple more of these. I'm going to squeeze it in down here. So the second problem, let's say we have 2/3, and we're going to divide that by 3. So again, I'm going to rewrite it, 2/3 divided by 3/1. So I'm going to flip the second fraction, and then I want to change that sign to multiplication. So instead of 3/1, I get 1/3. And I'll go ahead and bring down that first fraction. So we had 2/3 times 1/3. And notice again, we cannot reduce. So we've got 2/9. And because this is a proper fraction, we're just going to leave that. Let's go ahead and do some more like that. We'll do one more. Okay, so in this one, let's say we have 6/7 divided by 3. Okay, 6/7 divided by 3. So I'm just going to rewrite it, put a 1 under this, so 6/7 divided by 3/1. I know I'm going to leave the first fraction the same, so I'm just going to rewrite that. And remember, this becomes multiplication, and the second one gets flipped, so that's now 1/3. I intentionally made this one because we can do a little reducing here. 3 goes into the 6 2 times, and 3 goes into 3 once. So that's going to become a 1. This is going to become a 2. We've just canceled those numbers. Well, we didn't cancel this one. We reduced. So now we're going to go ahead and multiply straight across. So 2 times 1 is 2. 7 times 1 is 7. This is a proper number, or a proper fraction, so we're going to leave that there. All right, so we did 3 examples. Let's go ahead and do a fraction divided by a fraction. Okay, and this could be an improper fraction or a proper fraction. So let's go ahead and do a couple of just proper fractions, and then we'll do an improper. So let's say we have 5/8 divided by 1/2. Okay, 5/8 divided by 1/2. Now I don't need to rewrite, I don't need to put a 1 under any of these because these are fractions. But I am going to rewrite it because I have to flip that second fraction, and I have to change the operation of that from instead of division, we're going to change it to multiplication. So instead I have 5/8 times 2/1. Hopefully you're kind of getting the hang of this now that we're into several examples. Looks like we can reduce. 2 goes into 8 4 times, and 2 goes into 2 once. So I'm just going to rewrite that, and I'm going to multiply across. So 5 times 1 is 5. 4 times 1 is 4. This is an improper fraction, so we need to make it a mixed number. 4 goes into 5 one whole time with 1 left over, so we have 1 1/4. So if we were to take 5/8 and divide it into 1/2 pieces, we would have 1 1/4 of those pieces. Let's do another. Let's say we have 7/10 divided by 1/3. Okay, so 7/10 times 3/1. Doesn't look like I can reduce, but I can just multiply across. This is an improper fraction, so I'm going to change it to a mixed number. 10 goes into 21 twice with 1 left over. 10 is our denominator, so 2 1/10. In this third example, let's use an improper fraction. So let's say we have 4/3 divided by, and we could do another improper fraction. Let's see what happens. How about 7/6? That's hard to say. 7/6. Okay, so we're going to basically do what we've been doing. So 4/3 times 6/7. Notice I'm not using the colors anymore. You can if you want. I'm just, I think you're getting the idea here. So can we reduce? Looks like we can. 3 will go into 6 twice, and 3 of course goes into 3 once. So I'm going to rewrite that. Doesn't look like I can reduce anymore. 4 times 2 is 8. 1 times 7 is 7. This is improper, so we have to convert to mixed number. 7 goes into 8 one whole time with 1 left over, and so we have 1 1/7. Okay, whoops, you weren't supposed to see that there. Anyway, those are some examples of how to do division with whole numbers and a fraction, or just a fraction and a fraction. And we'll continue to work on these in class.